Now, Opposition Leader Peter Dutton has revealed a major reshuffle in his shadow cabinet ahead of the federal election and is taking inspiration from Donald Trump. Peter Dutton appoints Jacinta Nampijinpa Price to Musk-style government efficiency role in new front bench, says The Guardian. The shake-up features a new focus on government efficiency aimed at reducing wasteful spending, particularly surrounding the controversial voice referendum. Senator Price spearheading the initiative, reflecting similar efforts in the US, Dutton emphasising the coalition's commitment to scrutinising taxpayer funds as Australians grapple with excessive spending under the current government. Doge is what it's all about. There's been a lot of people who've been pushing for this. We've seen billionaire Gina Reinhardt, who attended the inauguration, and some of these parties saying Australia needs to take this on. Does a Doge work in a Westminster government system?
Well,
this isn't a question as to whether it should work, but would it work?
Yeah, I mean, applying that kind of thinking onto the Australian system, comes with its challenges. And I guess the main challenge is that under our system, based largely on the UK system, is that we do have a permanent public service, which, yes, the American system does have, but governments have less flexibility in changing the leadership of the bureaucracy when there's a change of government. They can do it to a certain extent, but their hands are tied to some extent, which is really going to make it difficult for anyone who wants to start carving through the waste and mismanagement that occurs in the bureaucracy. Now, waste and mismanagement is inherent to bureaucracy. It just happens because these organisations are too big to be properly managed and scrutinised. So, wasteful programs can go, can thrive for years without proper scrutiny. This is just inherent to the system. This is a great initiative to really drive home a bit of efficiency, and I can imagine it would have some bureaucrats a little bit nervous.
Is it politics though? Is this basically Peter Dutton saying to his base that if you vote for us and come back to us and might be talking to the people who are voting for the Teals, that they're watching? There's a lot of, I think within Liberals, inner city Liberals as well, envy as to what has been happening in that first week of the Trump presidency, where things are getting done, where the things that people think about, wish they could get done, are getting done. It's funny watching, I shouldn't say funny, but it's interesting watching the experience at the moment in the US when it comes to deporting migrants. That's a conversation Australia had back in the 1990s when John Howard said, we'll determine who comes to this country and the circumstances in which they come. Easy for an island, hard for a nation with two big borders. And that's where the US is having this conversation. But when it comes to Doge, is it more about my government would be more likely to do this than it could actually be done?
Look, I think, again, it's a lot easier for it to happen in the US. And yes, as you were asking before, yes, this is about politics from Dutton's perspective. Of course it is. And that's why he's put Senator Price as the front woman, who, obviously, did a great job in terms of representing her side, the no case in The Voice. She presents very well, and her messages resonate. I don't really think she does have a lot of experience in bureaucratic efficiency, but to a certain extent that doesn't really matter. She is the saleswoman. And
well, that's the difference. I mean, Elon Musk is someone who comes from, he showed what he did with Twitter, where he went in, cut thousands of jobs, and the service remained. Still some concerns, but in the whole, things improved, a lot of people believe. Whereas this is someone within government who was in a council not so long ago, who's now moved into this role. What is interesting is that she's an Aboriginal woman, and the Liberal Party essentially putting an Aboriginal woman in charge of something where a lot of people believe there's a lot of waste when it comes to social issues.
Yeah, this is going to be a very particular aspect of it. And this is probably one of the reasons why it has been so difficult for a proper examination of the resources that get devoted to Indigenous affairs. We do hear on the periphery mutterings about terrible waste, people being enriched at the expense of others. But it's been a very difficult issue to discuss without I guess, being on the receiving end of accusations of racism. That's why having Jacinta as the front woman, as the spokesperson for this, it's going to make that job a little bit easier. Now, that's, I guess, this effort isn't going to be all about Indigenous affairs, of course, but it's going to be that's the most difficult issue.